So guys, Honkai Star Rail is just upon us. You know, it's basically just about here, right? So, you know what that means. We have to start preparing. We have to start understanding the game. And we're going to start that with a video series where we talk about all the different things about the game and kind of explain it in a way that we, make it a little bit easier going into the game. Because just like you, I'm always going into the game blind, except for this time, I actually have a little bit of insight on it because I did play it myself. But what is going on, my dudes? Tash here, back again with another Honkai Star Rail video, and today, just hit that like and subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next video comes out. Guys, comment down below what you think also about all these, bits of information we're going to be doing, and if you like the Star Rail content. But without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, of course, as you can see, I am using a website called pridewind.gg, which is basically almost like the equivalent of Genshin Impact, or Honey Hunter World, basically. So I'm using this to kind of also use as cliff notes, because it's really apparent that there's a lot of stuff that we got to go over. Today, we're going to be talking about character elements and paths. And the reason why this is so important is because we already know how elements work in Genshin Impact when it comes to Pyro, Hydro, and all that other stuff. But we do have a little bit of a difference in Honkai Star Rail. There are 7 elements, of course, in the game, but they're changed a little bit differently. We obviously have our Pyro, our Cryo, Electro in Fire, Ice, and Lightning, and even Anemo with Wind. But we do have 3 different typings instead of our, Hydro, Geo, and Dendro. We have Physical, Quantum, and Imaginary. Now, the best way that I could go ahead and kind of put these into perspective is physical is physical. We obviously know that. Quantum is like the dark typing, and imaginary is like a light typing. Now, what's really cool about this too is that there are not character weaknesses. Well, yes. Sorry, my nose is a little bit running, but these elements have weaknesses, obviously, but what's really, really cool about it, and we're going to switch to another page here, game.guide, where we talk about weaknesses and why it's important to go through a weakness break. Now, granted, as your character, you're going to get hit by, characters who are stronger against your typing. However, we want to talk about why it's so important that you do these character typings and kind of go through it. Now, as you can see in the little video right here, you can see that certain enemies and yourself have certain weaknesses, and they will display on that little screen right there what typings are strong. Now, I wish I could pause this, but if you see on the big guy, his weaknesses are Fire, Ice, and Quantum, while the guy that they're targeting has weaknesses of Imaginary, I believe, and Wind. So, as you can also see, he's using Danheng, I think, or Danheng. Sorry, I didn't really use him too much in the beta myself. But Danheng here actually is a Wind character, which means that he's going to do more damage. And as you could see with the shield, you see what's called a shield break, or as they're explaining it here, a toughness break. Now, the toughness break is important because you're going to do more damage depending on the element that you used to break their toughness. And this is extremely apparent or extremely, important that you use. And the reason why is because each element corresponds with a different type of extra damage. Now, as you can see, here's a list of the weakness breaks right here. If you break with physical, dealing additional physical damage and applying bleed effect, which means that they are going to lose HP over time. Ice, apply the frozen effect, which means that they are frozen basically for 1 turn. Wind, dealing wind damage and applying the wind shear effect, dealing wind DOT, damage on turn, is basically what they're talking about. Fire does the same thing with the burn effect, dealing fire damage. Lightning does the shock effect, dealing lightning damage. Quantum, which gives you entanglement, delaying enemy actions and dealing quantum DOT, which delaying is actually very important when it comes to your placement in, like the whole turns. But that's going to be gone over in another video, but quantum helps out with your speed in that sense. Imaginary does the imprisoning effect, delaying enemy actions and reducing enemy speed. Same thing, but almost double time in that sense. So that's why weakness breaks are important. Now, as we talked about in this one, right? There are 7 elements in the game, and that's why it's important to really know what you're going for and have a spread out kind of team as of right now. Now, in Genshin Impact, we had those times where we would run a full team of Hydro or a full team of this for certain instances, and that's going to be apparent in Honkai Star Rail as well. However, sorry, I'm still a little tired. However, I don't think it's going to be as apparent as before, because multiple enemies have multiple weaknesses, not just one. It's not just, oh, it's a cryo slime, so I'm going to use Pyro to, you know, get rid of the icicles on his head. No. Literally, an enemy could be weak to fire, ice, and imaginary, or quantum wind physical. You know, it's all dependent on the symbol above their head, and obviously the corresponding color. So be ready for that. Now, don't forget to order your G-subs, by the way. Now, as you can see here, we do have another thing that we want to talk about, which are paths. And paths are going to be your distinction of what characters do what. And it's extremely important that you really consider this as the following, because they will pre-tell you like what these characters are going to be. Now, granted, we've had times where a character is said to be one thing and they're not. Let it be known, Ganyu was that. Ganyu was supposed to be a support character, but then she turned out to be one of the best DPSs in the game. Now, with these, right, you have Destruction Path, which you'll see these paths on these characters. Destruction Path will be general DPS, Hunt, single target DPS, Erudition, which is a multi-target DPS, Harmony, offensive utility support, Nihility, there we go, Debuffer, Preservation, which is going to be a defensive support tank, and Abundance, which is a healer. Now, these can all be kind of categorized into 3 different things. DPS, or, you know, just damage, support, and, like, basically tank, in the sense. Or tank / healer. So these 3 would obviously go in your DPS, these 2 would go into your support, and these 2 would go into that 3rd category. I did see a picture before that was really utilizing this. Let me see. No, it's not that. But either way, it's important to note that this is going to play almost exactly like, you know, Genshin Impact in the sense. And I know that people are going to be like, but Tystra, it says Honkai, it's going to be Honkai Impact 3rd. Not exactly. Honkai Impact 3rd, while amazingly, like, awesome, this is going to be exactly, like, more so like Genshin, but turn-based, and you basically have a turn with each character regardless. This isn't going to be like, oh, an off-field DPS, and you go from there. No. The goal, from what it seems like, is gonna be more so like you might run a multi-target DPS or a general DPS, and then maybe do utility support, debuffer, and then either a healer or a tank. I would probably say healer, because I think healers are going to be way more important in this game than Genshin Impact. And the reason being is because, you know, we don't have, or there is a character in there that kind of does it, but there's not going to be like these game-breaking characters such as Zhongli who shield for 50 million years, or characters like Diona so far that are going to shield and heal. At least I haven't seen yet. Now, in future videos, I might clarify that I did find that, but, you know, as of right now, there aren't those, like, crazy characters like that. Now, it's gonna be crazy how these teams get worked, and I can't wait for this game to come out. So I hope that I was able to at least help explain some stuff about this, about why the paths are important and why the elements are important. And honestly, I don't even think I gave enough time to really like go over paths, but it's pretty easily broken down here, that you have your DPSs, your support, and then your tank / healer. The more defensive side of things, I should say. I would highly suggest that if you are going to make a team around these characters, you really want to focus on going for your DPS, whether it's, you know, Destruction, Hunt, or Erudition. you want to do at least, I believe, 1 harmony, 1 nihitility, and then the abundance. Now, you could probably switch your harmony for a perseverance or preservation, but honestly, I think the go-to is going to be one of the DPS's harmony, nihility, and abundance. So, but yeah, that's really what I got for elements and paths. Now, guys, of course, if you like the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Honkai Star Rail video comes out. And, of course, leave a comment on what you think. Hopefully, I explained this a little bit better than I am thinking I did, because elements and typings are pretty standard. Like, it's pretty easily understandable. But Honkai Star Rail takes it to a different level where multiple, enemies can have multiple weaknesses. So be ready for that, guys. Love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you guys in the next video. Please take care and be safe, y'all.